We want to solve for a in this equation here. It's a rational equation, so we need a least common denominator. So we need a factor of a, factor of b, and a factor of x in our LCD. So I'm going to multiply the first term by abx, and the second term by abx, and the other side of the equation by abx. Then I'm going to cancel out any denominators. So if I cancel out a for that first term, it still leaves 1 times b times x. And for the second term, if I cancel b, that still leaves 1 times a times x. And on the other side, if I cancel out the x factor, that still leaves 1 times a times b. And we want to solve for a, so that means every term that has a needs to be on the same side of the equal sign. So I'm going to opposite this term here so that it's on the other side with the other a term. So then bx equals ab minus ax. And so if I want to get just a, I can factor that out. That will mean that I'll only have one factor of a. So let me factor a from these two terms. It is a common factor here. Divide to see what remains. And then if I want to get a by itself, I just need to undo this multiplication with division. So divide b minus x from both sides. Then that's going to cancel out, leaving just a on the right side. And on the left side, it's completely factored, and there's no factors in common, so it stays the way it is, bx over b minus x. So that's what a equals. Well, why does this example ask us to solve for a instead of just, hey, solve the equation? You can probably notice that this equation has 3 different variables, so how am I supposed to know which variable to solve for unless I'm told which one? So this equation, if you have any equations with more than one variable, we call those a literal equation. And you can solve them for any of the variables depending on what you need them for. So in this case, they asked us to solve for a because there's more than one variable. So another example of a literal equation here, x equals m over p plus 4. And we want to solve for p this time. So let's see. First we need the least common denominator. There's only one denominator, p plus 4, so that's going to be my least common denominator. I'm going to multiply p plus 4 to the left side of the equal sign. And I'm going to multiply p plus 4 to the right side of the equal sign. So the reason why I do that is because it's going to cancel out that p plus 4 on the right side in the denominator, leaving just m. On the left side, I'm going to have to distribute, so x times p, and I'll put this in alphabetical order, that's px, and x times 4 is 4x. So if I'm going to solve for p, there's only one term with p, so I'm going to opposite the other term from this side, minus 4x from both sides. So on the left side, just px, on the right side, m minus 4x. And then I just need to get p by itself. So if that's multiplication, I can undo that with division. So I'll divide x from both sides, and that's how we're going to get just p on the left side. And on the right side, if we were to try to simplify by dividing factors, they don't have any factors in common, so it stays the way it is. That is the simplified answer for